So welcome everybody to our class on Bhagwat Puran. And Shakuntala, you can please chant the shloka.
Yeah. So you all can repeat after me one word. Narayanam
Narayanam.
Narayanam
Narayanam
Namaskritya
Namaskritya
Naram
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 Chev
Chaiva
Chaiva
Narottamam
Narottamam
Devim
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 Saraswatim
Saraswati
Saraswatim
Vyasam
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 Tato
Tato
Jayam
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 Udirayet.
Udiraye.
Now anyone from you can do the English translation, please.
Before reciting the Shrimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, onto Nar Narayana, Rishi, the supermost human being, onto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and onto Srila Vyasadeva, the author.
Yeah, this is the proper etiquette, proper Vaishnava etiquette. We need to express our gratitude towards the compiler of the scriptures, Srila Vyasadeva, and also humbly request for the blessings, for the mercy of the Guru Parampara, so that by their mercy we can understand this sublime knowledge in the right way. And then also we have that humility and eagerness to share this with others. Right?
Thank you, Vinodji, and welcome. Pranam.
Thank you. Pranam. So now today's topic, we sent out the flyers about the appearance of Krishna's incarnation as Kapila Muni. Right? Now, before we go to that, the pastimes of Kapil Muni, I would like to share with you some background, what happened, why Lord appeared as Kapil Muni, as the son of Kardama Muni and Devahuti. Does anyone know who is Devahuti?
Daughter of Manu.
Daughter of Swayambhu Manu. Yes, Subhiji, thank you. So, on the instructions of Lord Brahma instructed Swayambhu Manu to advise his children. He had two sons and one daughter, Devahuti. So, to advise them to beget children, to produce children. So, Devahuti was very beautiful, and Swayambhu Manu could not find any suitable man to become her husband. So he asked Lord Brahma that who can be her husband. So Brahma advised him that one of the Prajapatis, Kardama Muni, is very suitable, very appropriate sage, a great yogi who can become the husband of his daughter, Swayambhu Manu's. So Lord Brahma instructed Kardama Muni also to find a suitable woman as his wife and produce children through her. Now see the depth of the character of the people at that time. Kardama Muni, now the creator of the universe, is giving him like license, to get married and produce children. But still, he felt it was a great responsibility to beget children. That, later on we'll discuss more in detail about what are the responsibilities of parents before becoming the parents, what they should follow, so that their children, they can become an asset for the society, not a burden on the society. So in the 5th canto of the Bhagavatam, the instructions given by another incarnation of Krishna, Rishabdev, he gave instructions to his 100 sons, 100 or 1000 sons. And one of the instructions he gave, that what are the responsibilities of parents or would-be parents, before becoming parents, what they should follow. So here, Kardama Muni, realizing that, he did great austerity, tapasya, to become qualified to be a husband, kind of a responsible husband. So for thousands of years, he did a tapasya to please Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu became very pleased with his austerity and appeared in front of him in his Chaturbhuj form, the four-arm form. In one, he was holding the club, the mace. In one hand, he was holding a lotus flower. Another hand, he was holding a conch shell. And the fourth hand, he was holding the disc, chakra. Right? So when Kardama Muni saw that beautiful form of Lord Vishnu, he fell on the ground at his feet. And he became so ecstatic, so much overwhelmed by the ecstasy, that the hair stood on the ends on his body, and uncontrollable tears were flowing from his eyes. So Lord Vishnu told him that he was so pleased with his austerity. Now, seeing the ecstasy of his devotee, Lord Vishnu also became emotional. Now, see here, when we read about this or hear about this, sometimes we may wonder, how God also can become emotional. Can anyone say whether God can become emotional or not? He's a transcendental person. He's above all the effect of the modes of nature, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So if he's above all these modes of nature which influence us, and when there is mode of influence, strong influence of mode of passion on us, then we become emotional also. We become angry also when the mode of passion is affecting us. And since Lord Vishnu is beyond that, beyond the influence of the modes of nature, then how can he become emotional? What could be the reason? Anyone would like to say anything according to your understanding?
जितनी चाहत हमें भगवान की है, उतना ही प्रभु को भी उतनी लेवल के ही शिष्य चाहिए.
Uh-huh. Yes.
तो यही कारण है कि he also becomes, he displays those emotions.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Now, if we hold on to this logic, you said very rightly, very right answer you gave. Thank you for that. But if we hold on to this logic, what you said, now, if we have the desire to commit sin, does it mean the God also has that desire to commit sin?
No,
Because it's coming from him only, right?
not at all.
Why you say no?
क्योंकि वो धर्म की रक्षा करते हैं, धर्म में sin नहीं होता.
हाँ, लेकिन जो हमारे पास आता है, whatever we have possess, whatever qualities or disqualification we have, we say, everything is coming from him. So if we have the desire to commit sin, commit any offense, do any nonsense thing, so does that mean that, that desire also is coming from him?
आप बताएं.
Anyone would like to say anything on this? Any comment? Many people, they find this easy way out. When they do something nonsense, they say, we are not the doers actually, everything is done by him. We are just an instrument. Right? Yes,
Uh,
Amrit.
yes. So I feel that there is good and there is bad unless and until there is, like, the behaviors that we're talking about. So it's a duality that is present in this life, and God has created this for us to experience. So I think if God resides in goodness, God resides in the path that we shouldn't take for us to, teach certain things. So God exists in this duality. So that's what I feel. Yeah.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right that God resides. I mean, he exists in everything. And so he's in duality also. But my question is that why do we have the desire to commit any sin?
I think it is a free will only.
Absolutely. This is the right answer. When we misuse the free will, then we do nonsense things. God does not interfere in our free will. He's not holding the bow and arrow at our head, then tells us, please love me, please worship me. No, he has given us free will. And that is called the true love. The love which is without any fear, without any compulsion, without any force, that's the true love. Willingly, if we love someone, the affection sprouts in our heart willingly on our own accord. That's the true love. If we are having some affection or some kind of love, so-called love for someone out of fear, that is not pure love. Right? Do you agree with this?
Absolutely.
Yes.
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 Now see, if we say that without the love should be without fear. Now in Ramcharitmanas, in Ramayana, you must be knowing that when Lord Ramachandra had to cross the ocean from Rameshwaram to Lanka, right? So initially, Ravana's brother Vibhishan, he suggested to Lord Ramachandra that he should pray to the sea god to give him the way to Lanka. So for 3 days, Lord Ramachandra observed fast to please Varun Dev, the sea god, right? The Lord of Ocean, to give him the way. But the Lord of Ocean did not appear in front of him. At that time, Lord Ramachandra became very angry. Then what he said? He told Lakshmana that without fear, there is no preeti, no love. Right? Lord Ramachandra is saying that. So he got ready. He took his bow and arrow to shoot the arrow to dry up the whole ocean. He said, I'm trying to be humble in front of the Lord of Ocean, the sea god, but this is a waste of time. He's merciless. So let me dry him up, dry the water up. At that time, the Lord of Sea appeared in front of him and asked for forgiveness. So now here, Lord himself is saying, that means without fear, there is no preeti, no love. So how can we reconcile this? Any idea, any comment? Any thought?
Thought is coming, but it is totally different. This time, the same line quoted by Army, Indian Army, and they said कि बिना भय के प्रीत न हुए. So,
Correct.
तो जब भारत ने पूरा कर दिया उनका बर्बाद, देन उन्होंने सीज फायर के लिए रिक्वेस्ट किया.
Yeah, so the point still it remains, how can we reconcile this? On one hand, it is said, that love means there should not be any fear. Right? If the base of love is fear, then it is not love. It's not true love. How can we reconcile this?
जी क्या हम ये कह सकते हैं जैसे माँ और बच्चा, तो माँ को फियर रहता है कि कहीं बच्चे को कुछ हो ना जाए, but at the same time there is love also.
Yeah.
So fear and love can go hand in hand. क्या प्यार और भय साथ में जा सकता है? मैं तो माँ और बच्चे की जो एग्जाम्पल है वो मैं दे सकती हूँ कि माँ जो है बच्चे की जो हेल्थ है या किसी चीज को लेके भय में रहती है, बट वो प्यार भी उतना ही करती है अपने बच्चे को. मे बी that is what comes to my mind.
To a certain extent, yes, you're right to a certain extent. Now, see, we need to understand the difference. When it comes to the spiritual love, that means our relationship with God. God does not want us to be fearful of Him. That He's holding the stick in His hand. As soon as we commit any sin, He's going to punish us. No, He does not want us to be living in the fear. of him, like that.
Mm.
But when it comes to the material world,
Mm.
then that rule applies. What Lord Ramachandra said. In the material world, the love cannot last if there is no fear.
Okay. कोई
Some
example?
yes, some part of fear has to be there to maintain that love,
Fear of
that
losing.
affection.
Can you give some examples, like, for us to understand this? Fear
Yes,
and
of course. Of course. Like, see, the love between, supposing so-called love, I'm using the word love, affection, between employee and employer, right? Employees, they love the employer because employer is paying the salary and all that, giving them the job, right? But constantly back of their mind, that fear also, kind of doubt also will be there. They should not lose the job, right? Because of that fear, that respect also is maintained because of that. If that fear was not there, you know what they say in English? Familiarity breeds the contempt. जब भी बहुत सारी familiarity हो जाती है ना, then people become careless.
right.
True love can help the person to become carefree, but not careless. Carefree and at the same time careful, like you gave example of mother and child, right? So mother has that love for the child, affection for the child, attachment for the child. So she is very careful
Yeah.
to bring the child up, right? To nurture the child. She's not careless, right?
Right.
So that carefulness has to be there. One should not become careless. So when there is no fear, then the person becomes careless. Who
जैसे
cares? No?
जैसे विनोद जी
Many
कह
people they say
सकते
that.
हैं, जैसे ये कह सकते हैं कि when you love somebody, you should be careful what you tell that person. मतलब ऐसी कोई बात ना कहो
Yes.
कि जिससे वो व्यक्ति को दुख हो. So you are
Correct.
careful because you love that person. So you are fearful that just
Correct.
in case you say something rude, that person will be hurt. तो ये
Not take them for
प्रकार है.
granted. Maybe not take them for granted.
हाँ.
Yes, absolutely.
Not take
Absolutely.
them for granted. Exactly.
Absolutely. Yes, you're right. Now see, in India and amongst Indians living abroad also, it's very common nowadays, it has become very common, commonly propagated and very often propagated by one cult. I would use the word cult, spiritual organization, so-called spiritual organization. They say in love, there should not be sorry and thank you. We should not say sorry and thank you. Have you heard that?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
If you are a true relative, true friend or something, like they say in friendship, true friendship, there is no space
No,
for
sorry.
sorry
Thank
and thank you.
Yeah.
Mamta?
How many of you agree with that?
No, there should be sorry.
There should be. Yeah, even I feel there should be. जो ड्यू एक्नॉलेजमेंट होते हैं एक एक फीलिंग के वो टाइम टाइम पर दिए जाने चाहिए. That's what I feel.
Yes. See now, if we are walking on a street, by mistake we hit someone, we bump into someone, we hit someone, we say sorry, right? Don't we?
Yes.
Yes. Now that person is a stranger. By mistake we hit that person and we say sorry. Now if we do something to the person who is very close to us, doesn't that person deserve apology from us?
Of course.
Yes.
We should be more mindful, more careful when we are dealing with relatives and friends.
True.
If we are so cautious, so mindful when we are dealing with strangers, why can't we show that kind of mindfulness
To our
that
loved
kind of
ones.
care towards people who are close to us. Trupti ji, you said very rightly, we take people's interaction or whatever people do for us for granted. We say that
I
there is
also
no need to acknowledge, no need to say thank you. That is
Right.
nonsense.
And I also want to add here that sometimes people say that, because it is you and I'm so close and open to you, I can be myself and I can behave the way I want to. And I have to have this mask outside for other people. And in front of you, I can be, anything and do not have to say sorry and thank you, which I don't agree with.
No, of course, of course. What do you mean by, I can be very open to you? That means I can do whatever nonsense things I want to do in front of you, for you, right? Towards
Yeah.
you, but not towards
Yeah.
others.
Yeah.
That is quite unacceptable. So you're right, we should not do that. That kind of mindset is not right. We should show more consideration towards people who are close to us. Right? If we are showing that consideration to other strangers, why can't we extend that kind of consideration to the people who are close to us? And they deserve that consideration from us. But we should not take them for granted. What word do you use? No? That taking them for granted. That's very absolutely right. Many of us, we do that. And by doing that, our attitude, our interaction with them, our reciprocation with them is affected. And then we become more and more insensitive towards their feelings. And that kind of insensitivity, becomes the cause of so many misunderstandings and other problems. Am I right?
Yes.
बिल्कुल ठीक है आगे.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
see, yeah, anyone, you want to comment anything?
Oh, I was saying that I agree. That's right.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So see, these things, when we study the scriptures, these basic things, our social behavior, many things we can learn about our social behavior. How can we interact with people in the society, in the family, at the micro level, and in the society at a macro level? So scriptures teach us a lot, a lot. Unfortunately, so-called educated people nowadays, youngsters, they think the scriptures are outdated, obsolete. They are practically not applicable in our modern life because we are very advanced. What kind of advancement we are talking about? Just I want to share with you one example. Long time ago in my childhood, I heard one speaker on Ramayana. He was saying that once one old man, he was reading Ramayana, waiting for the train at a platform. So young couple sitting there, they were being sarcastic towards this old man, saying, you old people, you don't have any other thing, better thing to do. On the railway platform also, you're reading Ramayana. What's wrong with you? So the old man did not say anything. He just smiled. So when the train came, now you see the trains in India, how crowded they are, right? So old man boarded the train. The man also boarded the train. And the train started. The woman left behind on the platform. Then the man started shouting, oh, my wife left behind, please, somebody pull the chain. At that time, the old man told him, if you had read Ramayana, then this situation, you would not have to face this kind of situation. So the man said, no, what do you mean? That this kind of thing also is mentioned in Ramayana or what? He said, yes. Main Lord Ramachandra went to the forest with his wife and brother. So when they had to cross the river, Ganga, first he asked Mother Sita to board the boat. So he said, that modern English people nowadays, they say women first. Actually, it is mentioned in the scriptures, women first. And so-called this, English-speaking people nowadays, they say, oh, Indian culture is backward. We are the one who taught you women first. Actually, it is mentioned in the scriptures. But unfortunately, because we did not have the habit of reading from scriptures, so whatever they said, we accepted. To that extent, we started demeaning our culture, demeaning our heritage, rich heritage, Vedic culture. So many times, with folded hands, I've been requesting to you, please read from scriptures. The more you read, the more you'll become broad-minded. Not only just by going to college, getting PhD degrees and all that, we become broad-minded. No. Such people, they claim to be broad-minded. They become so broad-minded, they don't realize what time the brain falls out from their head. And they stop thinking properly. They cannot think rationally. They become so self-centered. So yes, coming back to this, Kardama Muni, when he prayed to Lord Vishnu also became very emotional. And tears came out from his eyes. So the tears where it fell, where they fell, that's called Bindu Sarovar. The Bindu Sarovar is still there. That means a lake which was filled with the tears of Lord Vishnu. And then the water from Saraswati, river Saraswati also was put into that, and then became Bindu Sarovar. So when Kardama Muni saw that, Lord Vishnu also became so emotional seeing him, he became more emotional. Then he requested Lord Vishnu, he said, Lord Brahma has given me this instruction. Now, you are the protector, you are the savior, you are the seed-giving father, so I want to request to you to bless me that I can become a worthy husband, a qualified husband. So Lord Vishnu blessed him. And he told him that now Swayambhu Manu and his wife, they will come to you and they will bring the proposal. Not that Devavati herself will come and will ask you, will you marry me? The parents of the bride will come to you. So Swayambhu Manu and his wife, they went to Kardama Muni. So I would request he elaborately explain in the previous chapters, 21st and 22nd chapter. Anything you want to say?
No,
Haribol?
that was some disturbance, so I muted.
Okay. So when Swayambhu Manu and his wife, they went to meet Kardama Muni. Now Swayambhu Manu, being the father of the bride, would-be wife of Kardama Muni, he very humbly expressed his admiration, gratitude towards Kardama Muni, because Kardama Muni was not an ordinary sage. He had all the 8 types of siddhis of yoga. Do you know what are the siddhis of yoga? Ashta Siddhi.
The
One of the siddhis.
Ashtanga yoga parts, you mean?
Ashtanga yoga means 8 limbs yoga, but
Yeah.
when the person becomes perfect in yoga practice, he can acquire supernatural powers, 8 types of supernatural powers.
ये
One of
हनुमान
the
चालीसा में भी लिखा है अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता.
correct. Ashta Siddhis, supernatural powers are 8. So the person can make himself heavier than a mountain. Sorry?
I said like they can shrink to a small size.
Correct.
That's one of the Ashtasiddhi.
Heavier than the mountain and lighter than air.
That's right.
Can walk at the speed of the mind. Can enter into any planet. They don't need any passport or any visa. They can go to any planet. They can fly without any aircraft in the space. So there are different types of siddhis. Even one of the siddhis is the person can create a planet.
Creation. Yeah.
His own planet. So these kind of siddhis are mentioned. Like, Vishwamitra, he created a planet for his disciple, Trishanku.
Parshuram also created an earth. Parshuramji.
Yes. So somewhere it is mentioned he created, but other places it is mentioned not exactly created, but he protected the earth from the demoniac kings. 21 generations of demoniac kings he killed to protect the earth. And that earth he gave in charity to Brahmanas to take care of it. So because the way he protected from the demoniac kings, so it can be considered as he created the earth. But still, even Vishwamitra, when he created the planet for his disciple Trishanku, he never claimed that he is incarnation of God or he is God himself. And after that also, when Brahma told him, requested to Vishwamitra, that you have created an extra planet, so it is causing imbalance in the gravity force of the other planets which you already created in the orbit. So that's causing kind of imbalance there. So if that imbalance continues, the planets will start clashing with each other. And then the whole universe will become destroyed. So he requested Vishwamitra to take that planet back. So Vishwamitra, using his yogic power, he used the power to allow that planet to merge into his body. So that much power he had. So that's one of the siddhis of yoga system. So Kardama Muni had all 8 types of siddhis. And still, he was very humble. Nowadays, people have little bit of supernatural power, they start showing off like magicians. I can do this, I can do that. There are some gurus, they come to Hong Kong, they say that they are producing gold for their disciples. They move their hand in the air and then they get something, gold chain or something. They say we are creating gold. Actually, they are not creating. It is called Prapti Siddhi. So Prapti Siddhi means what? That means they are acquiring that object from somewhere else without the knowledge of the owner of the object. So in a way, it is like they are stealing it to please their disciples, their followers, and to show off that they have so much power. They cannot produce it. They can acquire it. So there is difference between acquiring and producing. So they just move their hand in the air, then they acquire. So we don't know from which jewelry shop they steal that gold chain, gold item and give to the disciple. And the disciple feels, oh, my guru is so great. He's producing gold. He's not producing gold. He's stealing gold from somebody else. Yeah? Does it make sense what I'm telling you?
Yes.
Anji.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Or does anyone have any objection?
No, no.
I want to ask one thing that is not yet answered. When sage Karadama के सामने Lord Vishnu came, तो why did he cry? Emotional होके क्यों रोने लग गए थे वो?
As we discussed already, that what emotions we have, good emotions, we have because originally they are in the Supreme Person. Right? Even Krishna also cried. Lord Ramachandra also cried.
Shiva.
Lord Ramachandra also laughed. So these are emotions which we see in the Supreme Person, and that's what we have in ourselves. Right? So whatever qualities they are there in the Supreme Spirit, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, those qualities we also possess because we are part and parcel of the Supreme Person. Only the thing is that he has unlimited those qualities, unlimited. The qualities we have, the quantum of the quality is very limited. Like, if we take out a sample of a drop from the ocean, and if we check in the laboratory, the chemical properties combination of that droplet will be the same as the water in the ocean. Correct? But the quantity of water in the ocean is huge compared to one droplet. But quality-wise, property-wise, same. There's no difference. Because the droplet is taken from the ocean. So we are also part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit. Our individual spirits, they are part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit. So our quality is also similar. Only the quantity-wise, we are much, much minute. We are much, much less. Does it answer your question? Was that person earlier?
Thank you. Understood, yes.
Yes. So yes, so what qualities the Supreme Person has, we also have those qualities. Yes, so Kardama Muni, after getting permission from Lord Vishnu. Then, Swayambhu Manu and his wife, they approached him. And a long conversation, as I said, you should read from the Bhagavatam, 21st, 22nd, 23rd chapter. Very nice conversation between Swayambhu Manu and Kardama Muni. You can see that what kind of social etiquette, what kind of caliber they had, what kind of personality these people had. Kardama Muni, in spite of having all kind of supernatural powers, he was very humble in front of Swayambhu Manu. In a way, he had more power than Swayambhu Manu. That means his would-be father-in-law. So he did not become arrogant. And on the other hand, Swayambhu Manu, even though he was senior to Kardama Muni, and position-wise, he had a higher position because he was Brahma's son, right? So he was much senior and at a higher level compared to Kardama Muni. But still, he spoke to Kardama Muni in a very humble way, his would-be son-in-law. So there was no trace of any arrogance or any rudeness from either side. Similar thing, it happened when Lord Ramachandra was getting married. So the message was sent because the decision of the marriage was already done by Vishwamitra, because Lord Ramachandra and Lakshman, they had gone with Vishwamitra, and when they went to Mithila, Janakpuri, then it was decided they will get married. So then the message was sent to King Dashrath. So when King Dashrath and all other ministers and everybody came from Ayodhya, King Dashrath is very humbly bowing down in front of Janak, Mother Sita's father, and expressing his gratitude. So Mother Sita's father is telling him, you are the groom's father. Why are you being so humble in front of me? Very beautiful thing, Maharaj Dashrath told him. Yes, he said, I'm the father of the groom, but I am a beggar. You are the person who are going to give your kanya in dan. Dan means here not charity. It's not charity. It's not an object. You're giving your gotra, giving away your gotra to us. So my position is that of a beggar, and you are the giver. So I should become humble in front of you. See what kind of culture they followed at that time. And nowadays, because of the education system is completely ruined. It was ruined by the British who came, the Gurukul system and everything. So all these cultural things, etiquette and social etiquette, everything was lost. And the things became so topsy-turvy, that upside down, that the groom side, they started demanding different things and all that, being arrogant in front of the bride side. It is completely nonsense, So anyway, coming back to this topic. So Kardama Muni and that conversation between Kardama Muni and Swayambhu Manu is worth reading. And my point here, before also I made several times, when you read from scriptures, you make notes of what you're reading. The scriptures are not to be read like novels or books on fiction stories and all that. They are to be studied well. Because the sublime knowledge, when we study, we try to analyze and try to assimilate. The more and more study, more and more times we study, newer and newer meanings will be revealed to us according to our spiritual evolvement. In one of the sessions I said, the more we advance spiritually, the more knowledge at the deeper level will be revealed within our heart. So higher we go, the deeper understanding we get. Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So, then our roots, our spiritual roots go deeper and deeper, grow deeper and deeper. And then this knowledge we cannot forget at all. So, Swayambhu Manu, he gave his daughter Devahuti in marriage to Kardama Muni. So initially, even Devahuti also, she was a princess, a granddaughter of Lord Brahma and daughter of Swayambhu Manu, the emperor not of one country, emperor of the ruler of the whole Earth planet, whole galaxy, actually. But because she realized that as a wife, it is a duty to serve her husband. And now that husband also was not an ordinary person. He was a great sage, right? Now see, in our culture, Indian culture, you must have heard many times in your family or amongst your relatives, Pati is considered as Parmeshwar, right? Supposed to be like that. Parameshwar. So many men, they take undue advantage of this concept without understanding what does it mean by Pati Parmeshwar. Parmeshwar means, not actually supreme person, but Parmeshwar means here, Pati Parmeshwar means who is the representative of Parmeshwar, who is following the injunctions stipulated by Parmeshwar in the scriptures, in the grace ashram, in the household life, what they should follow. If any man is following those injunctions, that man can qualify to be addressed or to be treated as Parmeshwar, not otherwise. You know how many men they follow the injunctions mentioned in the scriptures. So they don't want to follow the injunctions stipulated by Parmeshwar, the original Parmeshwar, but still they demand that they should be called and they should be treated as Parmeshwar. It doesn't work like that. One has to be true representative of the original Parmeshwar, the Param Parmeshwar. Then only that person can become qualified to be addressed as Parmeshwar and treated as Parmeshwar. Otherwise not. So the grace life, the injunctions which are mentioned, the guidelines which are given in the scriptures, they are so beautiful. If a couple can follow those guidelines, the whole married life can become very harmonious, very peaceful, very enjoyable. At the same time, both husband and wife can help each other to advance spiritually. The household life is not only for material enjoyment, not only for sense gratification. At the same time, yes, the senses are to be satisfied. At the same time, one should not forget about the progress. What is the goal of human life? Both husband and wife, they should help each other to achieve the spiritual goal, and that's liberation. So Devoti was serving her husband very nicely, and because Kardamamani, being a sage, being a rishi, he was living in the forest. So Devavati could not take care of her body's beauty. Before, she was very beautiful as a princess. But when she started staying with Kardamamani for thousands of years, she served her husband in his sadhana, yoga practice and all that. So she lost her luster. She lost her beauty. And later on, when Kardamamani was reminded of recognizing his responsibility as a husband to beget children, then he told Devahuti that, he will take care of her. Then how did he take care of her? Because he had all the supernatural powers. He created a big castle, 7-storied castle, which can fly in the space. Anywhere it can go. On the instructions, only just by instructions given by Kardamamani, where it should go. And all the facilities were there. Nice waterfall, lakes, birds, swans, pigeons, everybody. All these facilities, whatever number of creatures we see in the universe,
हम लोग
in
लिंक
the
रोड से
miniature
जाएंगे
form.
क्योंकि
Hello.
Please continue.
So all facilities were there in that castle, which was created by the yogic power of Kardamamani. And there were thousands of beautiful virgin girls to serve them, to serve the couple. So they served, they dressed up Devahoti very nicely, and she was looking beautiful again like before. Then Kardamamani expanded himself in 9 different forms, total, that means 8 extended forms, total 9 forms. Now here also, very subtle way, the explanation is given. Why Kardama Muni? Now devotee was only one wife. Why he had to expand himself in 8 extra forms, that means total 9 forms, to enjoy the household life, married life with devotee. Does anyone know? Any guess?
नहीं.
Have you ever heard?
No.
What was the necessity of Kardama Muni to extend himself in 8 extra forms, additional forms, and total 9 forms to have to enjoy married life with one wife, Devahoti? Now this is mentioned in Ayurveda also. It is said, a woman's sensual desire is 9 times more than that of man. This is nature's arrangement. Now, why nature's arrangement? This also, the pastime comes in Bhagavatam. Once Lord Indra, he killed his guru. He had appointed a guru, officiating priest, to do the yagna. And later on, when he found that that guru was giving part of the benefits of the yagna to the demons, and who are also becoming very powerful because of getting the prasad from the yagna. So Indra became very angry. So Indra cut his guru's head off. So because of Guru Hatya, the sin personified started chasing Indra to punish him. So it is said Indra went to all planets. He came to all planets also to hide. That sin personified did not leave him. That sin personified was in the form of a witch. Very ugly looking witch. So it said, when Indra, he took the form of a bee. And he hid himself in the stem of a lotus flower for 1,000 years. And after that, he thought, that witch must have left. So when he came out from the stem of that lotus flower, he saw that witch was still waiting for him. Then he really got fed up. So he went to Lord Brahma. He went to his guru, Brihaspati, what can I do to get rid of this witch? So both of them, they told him, that if you can transfer your sin to somebody else, and if somebody else is willing to go through the penalty instead of on your behalf, then the sin personified will leave you. So then Indra thought for a very long time carefully. Then he thought, because Guru Hatya is such a big sin, that whole sin cannot be taken by one single person. Nobody was capable of taking the whole sin, the burden of the whole sin. So he divided the sin in 4 parts. So 1/4 he gave to earth. So when he requested Mother Earth to take 1/4 of his sin, so Earth said, okay, I can take, but at the same time, I need a blessing also. I need a boon. Like, in Hong Kong, we say there is no free lunch. Nothing as free lunch, right? So Indra said, okay, I bless you that whoever digs any hole, any ditch on your body, it will not remain hollow for a long time. It will not just remain as a gap for a long time. It will get filled with soil automatically after some time. So your surface will become even. Nobody will realize, that there was some kind of gap there. So the sin was taken up by earth, 1/4 of the sin. Desert. Nothing can be grown there. So some part of the earth is like that. Nothing can be grown. No vegetation possible. So that is Indra's curse. Then 1/4 he gave to the water. The 1/4 sin he gave to water. That means water, if it is kept stagnant for some time, it is no more drinkable. There is no energy in the water. Water becomes dead. Nowadays, it's very common that water is sold in the bottles and all that, and sold. But this kind of water does not have any energy. As long as the water is flowing, the energy is produced, that water can give us energy. Stagnant water cannot. And stagnant water, after some time, it gets a foul smell also. And it starts generating some foam on top of that. So that water is no more drinkable. So that's a sin. 1/4 sin Indra gave. And at the same time, the blessing he gave to the water, that if water is added to any other liquid, that water will increase the quantum of that liquid without making the person know how much is the quantity of the water and how much is the quantity of other liquid. Like, the milk vendors in India, they take advantage of that, right? They add water in the milk. Common people, they cannot understand how much is the milk and how much is the water. So that is the water. He gave 1/4 of his sin to the water. Then 1/4 of the sin he gave to the trees. Some trees, they have the sap. And that sap, if we touch, we can get skin disease. That sap is very poisonous, very harmful. So the blessing he gave to the trees, he said, when people cut your branches, as long as the roots are there in the earth, the branches will regrow after some time. So that's the blessing of Indra. Now, the 1/4, balance 1/4, when he had to give. So he was contemplating, he was thinking, whether to give to men or women. Now see, it is mentioned in the scriptures. Indra also realized that men are very weak compared to women. They cannot take the burden of his sin, 1/4 sin. Then he decided to pass it on to women. So he requested the women class. So women said, no, we need the blessing also, like others. We'll take the sin. So the sin is, women, they get menstruation every month. It is said that it is a sin. They are undergoing the sin of Lord Indra. So the blessing Indra gave, that their sensual urge, sensual desire, and sensual appetite will be 9 times more than that of a man. So this is the, in a way, blessing of Lord Indra. But he said it will be in the concealed form. It will not be exposed. Men, their appetite, their capacity, everything is much, much less than women. But whatever they have, their agitation can be exposed very easily. Women, they can hide it. They can conceal it. In spite of having 9 times more capacity, 9 times more desire, 9 times more appetite than men, they can hide it. So, Kardama Muni, being the knower of all the scriptures, all knowledge, he was familiar with the past, present, and future. Trikal Darshi. So he knew it very well. That's why he expanded himself in 8 different forms. That means 8 plus his original form, 9. And then Devahuti gave birth to 9 daughters. From each form, 9 daughters she gave birth. And Kardama Muni, when he was having conversation with Swayambhu Manu before getting married, he put one condition. He said, I will get married to your daughter, who is very chaste woman, very beautiful. Even Gandharvas also, looking at the beauty, when the Gandharvas, they go by plane, they get so captivated by the beauty of your daughter, they fall off the plane. They get completely lost. So I'm very fortunate that, you have brought the proposal of your daughter for me to get married to her. So I'm very fortunate. But he said, I will not forget my spiritual path, my spiritual goal. I will not give that up. After I beget children through your daughter, through Devahuti, my responsibility as a husband will be over. Then I will leave. I will go to the forest and I will do meditation for liberation. So your daughter should not hold me back. So Swayambhu Manu promised him. So now, after giving birth to 9 daughters, begetting 9 daughters, then Kardama Muni told Devoti, now my duty is over as a husband. I need to leave according to what I told and your father promised me. So Devoti said, yes, actually I also am agreeable to that. But now, when the daughters, they grow up, they will be given away in marriage, like I was given away in marriage to you. So then I will be left alone. So as a husband, it is your responsibility to make sure that, somebody is there to take care of me. In today's world, what the woman would ask, make sure that, your proper insurance policy and all that. After you leave, I can get the insurance claim and then I can enjoy my life. No, it was not like that. How can I progress on the spiritual path? I cannot do on my own because I'm a woman. So I need somebody to guide me. Kardamamuni was very pleased when he heard that. So he admired what Devavati told him, and he said, that you're born and brought up in a royal family, Swayambhu Manu's daughter, and still you have not forgotten what is the goal of human life. This material comfort has not bewildered you. They have not made you deviate from the original path, spiritual path. So I admire you. And I'll make sure that you get a son, and that also not an ordinary son. That son will be ray of Lord Vishnu, the part of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu himself will take shelter of your womb and come as your son. And he will give you guidance on the spiritual path. So this was Kardamamuni's promise to her. And then after that, Lord Vishnu first, he entered into Kardamamuni's consciousness in his body, and through him, he got transferred to the body of Devahuti. And then later on, he was born as Kapila Muni, who propagated the Sankhya philosophy, Sankhya Yoga. So now I wanted to discuss this with you, the background, in a very brief manner, so that, later on when we talk about the instructions given by Kapila Muni to his mother, very interesting, very interesting. Actually, I should request, to please read again. Some of you have read already, like Shakuntala ji, she said she will read. So please read again and, try to make this our sessions more interactive. As we discussed in our previous session, when you come prepared, then you also can contribute. Then you also can comment, and even, if you want to ask questions, so you can do that. So it will make our sessions very interactive. Yes? So now I want to hear from your side.
Yes.
Anybody has any comment, any question, or any realization you want to share? Yes? Please don't feel shy.
I have a question.
Yes?
If the ultimate goal is liberating oneself, then why are the Ashtasiddhis and these other things? Why do we desire for those?
Yeah, see, because everybody will not be keen or eager to seek liberation. Some people, they still have that tinge of that desire to enjoy the material life. Now, when we try to enjoy material life, there is no end to material desires, right? There is no end to material desires, and the senses also, they don't become weak. Our senses remain as strong as, they can be in our young age. In old age also, they remain very strong. What happens? The sense organs become very weak. Senses, they don't become weak, and desires also don't get exhausted. But our sense organs become very weak, and that causes frustration.
Right.
So that frustration becomes like, the breeding ground for sprouting the desire to get liberated. Because if we look for contentment, satisfaction, it is very difficult in the material world. So when that frustration comes, that frustration also is a blessing in disguise. So that frustration becomes the cause of sprouting the desire for liberation. So unless and until one comes to that stage, so people of different levels They need different things. So material nature provides for them. Okay, you want to be happy with this. You want to experience this. Okay, first you have to do this. Then you will acquire this. You will be rewarded in this way. So when you get the reward, you can enjoy. Only after the enjoyment of that reward for millions, even millions and millions of years, there is Siddha Loka. We are on the Prithvi, Mrityu Loka. There is a Siddha Loka also. In that Siddha Loka, the Siddhis, Siddhas, people who have the yogis, who have all these 8 types of Siddhis, they compete with each other. You know, if you can create this much of gold, I can create this much amount of gold, much more than what you can create. In this way, competition going on in Siddha Loka. What we see in this Mrityu Loka, that is nothing compared to that. But the point is that in Siddha Loka also, after doing, competing with each other, enjoying the material world for millions and millions of years, they don't feel satisfied. Even yogis also, they don't feel satisfied. Great yogis. Then they come to the Mrityu Loka, then they have that genuine desire, genuine interest to get liberated from this material world. And then when they have that genuine desire, very sincere desire to get liberated, then Krishna helps them to follow the path which can lead them towards liberation. Does it make sense, Trupti ji?
Yes, yes. So basically, it is stating that to leave something, you need to experience that first, and then you have the desire to like वो वैराग्य आना कहते हैं ना, तो only after you have experienced it, वैराग्य आएगा, and then only you will want to have that liberating feeling to come.
Yeah, but now it is not applicable to everybody. Only some people who want to experience. Some people, they are intelligent, they can learn from other people's experience. They don't want to go through the experience on their own.
True, true.
So there are many people who are spiritually advanced, but just by reading the scriptures, what is mentioned in the scriptures, they don't want to get entangled. They don't want to get involved in these things.
Yeah, making sense.
It's,
Totally.
they think that it's waste of time. And that's proper intelligence. When we learn from other people's experience without wasting our time, precious time, which is very limited. So if we are able to do that, that means, we are utilizing our intelligence properly.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Right? When we hear from others, don't put your finger in the fire, it will burn. Now, if somebody says, I don't believe you, I want to experience myself, let me see whether my finger burns or not. What will you say for that person, about that person? We feel sorry for such people, right?
Yeah.
So it is better to learn, the scriptures. In the scriptures, the sages, different characters, they have mentioned their own experience. So when you learn from their experience, and then, just follow the right path, which can lead us to the ultimate goal of life, that's liberation.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that we should ignore our responsibilities in this material world. No, our scriptures don't say that. Running away from the responsibilities is not sannyas, is not vairagya, is not detachment. It is cowardice. Stay in the world, stay amongst this the society, and fulfill your responsibilities. At the same time, from within, you feel detached. Externally, you do your duties. Internally, from within, you be detached. And that's called actual vairagya, the true detachment, true renunciation. Am I making sense here, Trupti ji?
Yes. Yes.
Any other comment or question?
When we say that I am detached, okay, if someone is saying I'm detached, I'm living in the current world and I'm still detached. Saying that I am detached also uh, is a trap, because again I'm talking about me. So
Does it
if
show?
sorry,
Sorry, does it show ahankar, you mean?
yeah. So when we say that I am detached, that means I again come into picture, and then whole game goes for a toss. of detachment?
Hmm.
And if so, then how do we get rid of I when we are in the sansar, or when we are actually living in this world, and we acquire a position where we are in a position to say that I am not attached.
Hmm.
When I say I'm not attached. Also, there is I in within. So how can we get rid of, and how can we differentiate between this I and not being I?
Yeah. Very good question. Does anyone have any comment on this? Before I want to hear from others, then I will say what I understood so far.
गुरु जी, ये फाइनल स्टेज है जब आई का डिसोल्यूशन होता है, तब आप प्रभु के अंदर विलीन होते हैं। ये पूरा जर्नी ही इसी चीज के लिए है। जब तक आप यहाँ पे हैं, तब तक आई आपके साथ जुड़ा रहेगा।
हाँ. Yes, thank you.
Uh,
Thank you for sharing.
what if we look at I as not an ego, not a self ego, but just I as consciousness, as being? So when we are saying I will not get attached, or I want to get detached, you're not looking at it as from an ego perspective, but you're looking at yourself as a consciousness. Your consciousness telling you to detach or not get attached.
Hmm. Hmm. Yes, very good.
I have a different view, maybe.
Yeah.
Somebody who is really detached, why would he try to validate or not validate, or even make a statement that I am detached? किसको बताना है, क्यों बताना है?
Hmm. Yes, good point. Yes. Yes. Now this is called interactive session. Yes, please go ahead. Others also. Very good. I appreciate that, what you're saying so far. Everything, whatever you said, three of you, whatever you said, is it makes sense. It's meaningful. Anybody else wants to say anything?
If we are in this world, a material world, that I will never go until your material body exists, or the understanding or the existence, or rather understanding of this body exists, your I will not go. Once I would not go, in that case, आपका जो कहना है कि मतलब कर्मयोग में जो कहा गया है कि कर्म करो और फल की अपेक्षा मत करो, या फिर detach yourself from anything that you want to desire or whatever desire. एक जगह पे ये दुविधा है कि मटेरियल वर्ल्ड है तो वो तो जीना ही है, मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में ये है, और ये मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में ही जी के आपका मोक्ष का मार्ग आप बना सकते हो, क्योंकि दिस इज द बॉडी एंड 5 सेंसेस के द्वारा ही वो हो सकता है, इज व्हाट वन ऑफ द थियरीज. If so, how can we get detached by the same body which is giving you experience and actually maybe guiding or will be guiding towards your liberation, remaining in the body and still saying ke get detached out of that body and just ignore that body. ये थोड़ी दुविधा मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रही है.
I understand. Yes, yes. We'll discuss. I'll discuss with you. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Anybody
I
else want to
can,
say anything?
from our
Yeah.
previous discussion, like you said, the water everywhere is same. It's only the extent which is different. Like what the water in the ocean is same as a water drop that I drink from the glass. So similarly, I feel I is a separatedness feeling from the ultimate thing. So I is like we are one with the God. The very feeling of separateness that in the human body when we are there with the consciousness, that is a feeling uh, which is we call ego also. Whereas there is no separateness, it's just in the consciousness that we are separate from this thing. This is I and this is nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? It's becoming very interesting now, this discussion.
Now, there have been many examples that Raja Janak, he was like totally a grihast, and he was liberated.
Who? Sorry.
Raja Janak.
Ah. Hmm.
So he was liberated. Then there is a whole list like Lahiri Mahashay. He was also grahast, and so see, when you go deeper, you understand there is something known as inner eye. That's a totally different thing. And attachment to this worldly things, that's a totally different thing. And you have to detach from these worldly things. That's a very basic step. Going into yourself and knowing yourself, the inner self, वो तो बहुत आगे की बात है, ध्यान ही नहीं लगता, वहां तो पहुंचने में समय लगेगा.
Yes. Yes. You want to say anything?
Uh, Hello. I want to say
Yeah.
one thing. I have one question. Basically, I have a kind of doubt about I, the sense of I. Is sense of I, which I call I, is it false, or does it get bound? Does it come into existence out of some circumstances, or it has no real existence because we identify ourselves with particular kind of body? When I was not born, I was not even conceived by my mother. I did not exist in material world. But when I was conceived by my mother and I was born, then I began to identify myself with the body. Uh, then the concept of I think began to rise from my identification with the body, and then I learned something from somewhere. Means society taught me many things about how to live, how to earn money, how to do many things. Then I created mind, and then again I created sense of identity with my mind. So my question is, do all these things, the mind and I, basically the physical identity and the mental identity that I have created, are they really false? I mean exactly that. Are they really false?
Yeah. Now I'll discuss with you. I'll
They're
discuss.
temporary, just temporary.
Yeah.
Are they just temporary?
Yes.
गुरुजी गुरुजी मुझे सिर्फ एक ही मतलब मेरे पूछने का एक ही मतलब था कि आहार, निद्रा, भय और मैथुन, इन चार चीजों के द्वारा ही हम इस पृथ्वी पर अपना अस्तित्व बनाए हुए हैं, और आहार, निद्रा, भय, मैथुन के आगे जाने का रास्ता इससे डिटैचमेंट कैसे पाए, बिकॉज दैट इज अ बेसिक थिंग, और इसकी वजह से तो हमारा एग्जिस्टेंस है. और अगर पंचेंद्रियों से अगर हम उस क्या बोलते लिबरेशन के मार्ग पे जाने वाले हैं, तो आहार, निद्रा, भय, मैथुन को छोड़ ही नहीं सकते. अगर छोड़ ही नहीं सकते तो यहाँ पर ही हम फंसे रहेंगे. अगर फंसे रहेंगे तो वो दुविधा, आई मीन वो जो दूसरापन जो है ना, कनेक्टिंग टू डिस्कनेक्शन, वो तो हो ही नहीं सकता. यहाँ से ही हम फंसे हुए हैं. तो लिबरेशन वाली चीज आम जनता के लिए कैसे सुविधामय हो सकती है?
Now, I as kind of integrate whatever things you spoke about, and I will summarize it, and I will, as much as possible, try to present things in a little structured way. Now, start with the last thing what she said. She said about 4 things: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. These are the 4 basic instincts, basic habits human beings have. And the same habits animals also have. So if you are not able to rise above these 4 basic instincts, then we are like animals, right? So when we understand our true identity, we have true identity, then it will help us to rise above this. Now, first we need to understand what is ahankar, what is ego. There are 2 types. When we say false ego, that's ahankar. So when we say false ego, then there must be true ego as well, right? We are living in the world of duality, right? Not absolute. So when we say about the false ego, that is ahankar, or false pride, then there should be true ego also. So false ego is like that the gentleman said earlier, that before I was conceived in the womb of my mother, I was there, but then I got this material body. Then I started identifying myself with this material body. This material body also, when we say this is my hand. I don't say when we touch, suppose I touch my chest, I don't say I. We say my chest, right? So that means that person is somebody else, right? Different from the chest, different from the head, different from the face, different from the hand, right? That person is somebody different. Am I making sense here? That's why we say my head, right? Then now who is that my we are referring to? That's the spirit soul. So when we need to understand what is our actual true identity, हमारी वास्तविक पहचान क्या है, वो हमें जानना है. So when we understand our true spiritual identity, then we will know what is our spiritual occupational duty. And when we perform that duty, that performance of duty will make us detached from the performance of this material world, material activities, material obligations. In material world, mostly these are obligations, right? Which are associated with our body and associated with the people who are related to the body. So these are obligations, but we consider them as duties. Our real duty, occupational duty, is please the person who has given us this body.
What?
Please the person, worship the person who has given us this body. Serve the person who has given us this body. Serve the actual supreme spirit of who we are part and parcel. And we need to also understand, liberation does not mean that merging into the existence of God. No. In Bhagwat Gita, Krishna clearly told Arjuna, there was no time when you were not there, I was not there. And in the future also, there won't be any time when you won't be there, I won't be there. God and us, we are separate entities. God is a supreme spirit and we are individual spirit, minute spirit. We are individuals. So we do not lose our individuality, our individual identity, our personal identity. We don't lose, even when we get liberated. Merging does not happen into the body of the supreme person. Merging happens in the effulgence, the Brahma Jyoti, which is the effulgence of the spiritual world. So many yogis, they desire to merge into that. But after merging also, they don't lose their identity. Like suppose I give you an example. I think I shared this example with you in a mathematics class. Our professor, he drew a line on the board with a chalk. Those days we used to use the chalk and duster. So he drew a line. Then he asked, how do you define this? So everybody, we said, this is a line or segment. Then he said, when you check it with a magnifying glass, you will see that it's a combination of small dots. Through our naked eyes, we cannot see that. For us, it seems like a segment or a line drawn by the chalk. But when we see with the magnifying, it's a combination of small dots. So same way, the water in the ocean, it looks like huge quantity of water, but it's combination of small droplets. When we take out some water from the ocean, that quantity of the water is separated from the ocean. When we throw it back, we don't realize, we see that, that water is mixed, blended with the overall quantity of the water in the ocean. But that quantity which was separated and then again thrown back in the water, that quantity of water recognizes his individual personality. It's very subtle, but it's a fact. We don't lose our individual personality, our individual recognition. We never lose that. That's what Krishna says. So don't have that desire to merge into God. No. We need to have that kind of sense, that kind of desire, that kind of inclination, eagerness to serve the Supreme Person, to serve Him. Because we are always going to be separated from Him. So we need to get united with Him in the form of service, not physically. Physically, we cannot merge into Him. I give you a material example. Children who are born from parents, from the sperms of father and eggs of mother, right? After they are born, they are part and parcel of the parent's body. Do you agree? Yes or no? They are
Yes.
produced from the parent's body, right?
Yes, that's right.
Can any child be able to merge into parent's body again?
No.
Not possible, right? So materially, it is not possible. Biologically, it is not possible. Spiritually, also, it is not possible. We always will remain our own person, our own individual personality we will have. So we need to recognize that and serve the original Supreme Person. And that is called union. That is called association. That is called being united with the person. Not in a physical sense, not in the spiritual sense, but in the sense of service. Right? In Indian culture, many people sometimes jokingly, they say, when there is good relationship between husband and wife, good love and affection. So the man says, tells his wife, sometimes, it may sound like he's flirting. He's not being honest, but he's flirting. But still, these kind of things are common. They say, it seems that, you are eating and I'm getting the energy. खाती तुम हो और तन मेरे लगता है. Right? Have you heard this before? Yes or no?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Right? I have a question, sir. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Sir, I have a question. Sir, my question is, I read there's a sloka in Ishovasya Upanishad, and sloka goes like Purnamida, Purnamidam, Purnakta, Purnamudachate, Purnashya, Purnamadaya, Purnameva Shishyate.
Absolutely, yes.
So right now we were discussing that we are a part of the Supreme Consciousness. We came from there, we acquired the body, physical body. So the kind of terminology that we use, part, I think it has come from us some kind of sense that we perceive the word in terms of end or in terms of the measurement. So is it absolutely appropriate to discuss ourselves in relation to the Supreme Consciousness in some kind of means in terminology of part? Can you discuss it? Because as the mantra goes, as this sloka says, that because we are part, we have come from that, and we are as absolute as He is. But because we have limited ourselves with the body and the mind, we are identified with the body and the mind. So we have forgotten the true nature.
Absolutely,
Is
yes.
it true? Is it true?
Yeah.
So
Now
we have
see.
forgotten the. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Very good point you raise. Now, when we talk about that mantra, that means he's a complete person, and whatever comes from him, that also is complete. Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Correct. So now I give you a practical example. I take one container.
Yeah.
I have pulled the water from the ocean.
Yes.
Right. Ocean is complete in a way. All right. So my container, if it is full, so that also is complete.
Yes.
But quantum wise is small, is less. But as far as the completeness is concerned, is complete. Is full. Right. So this is what I was saying, we are part and parcel of the Supreme Person. So quality wise, we have similar qualities like he has.
Yeah.
But quantity wise, we are limited. But when we talk about individuality, we are complete. And you said very nice thing, that in the form of spirit soul, we are complete. We can be infinite also. But because now our spirit soul is confined within this body, then the limitations, these are the boundaries. The body is like a boundary. So it is creating obstacles for us from achieving what we are able to achieve otherwise, what we are supposed to achieve. And now because it works in an obstacle, like you only raised this point, you only mentioned very nice point, because we start identifying ourselves with this body. And that's why it becomes a hindrance, an obstacle. And it does not allow us to achieve what we are supposed to achieve. So we need to understand, have proper understanding about the true identity. When we understand our true identity and work according to that, then that will help us, that proper understanding will help us to be detached naturally without any endeavor from the material objects and subjects. We won't have to do any extra endeavor to become detached. Now, detachment also, it has to be genuine, not superficial.
Yes,
It has
yes.
to be genuine. In one of the sessions, I shared this when Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of Hare Krishna movement, when he was in the US, once in the local newspaper, I think it was New York Times, there was a photo of one guru had gone from India to New York. So in that photo, there was a bundle of US dollars. And this guru was wearing saffron robes and he's doing like this, I'm detached. This is Maya. I don't want to attach. I don't want to touch this. Prabhupada told his disciples, you take my photo with a similar bundle. I'm hugging the bundles. And I'm also sannyasi. So he said, Lakshmi is consort, wife of Lord Vishnu. He's like our mother. How can we neglect her? How can we ignore her? Now the actual original place for Lakshmi is in the feet of Lord Vishnu, Narayan. So we should earn as much as possible. We should earn that Lakshmi and use in the service of Lord Vishnu. And that's called proper sannyas. Not just staying away from the money. No. We should not become like disrespectful to Lakshmi. It's disrespect. The actual way of doing is the sannyasis take the Lakshmi and offer it to Lord Vishnu. You can use it for yourself, but at a very minimal way, whatever is necessary for you. Prabhupada said, devotees, they can earn money, millions and millions of dollars they can earn. And they can keep some portion for their personal household needs to fulfill the needs and balance use in the service of Narayan and other devotees, other society members. And that's called proper sannyas. Right? So this is called Yukta Vairagya. That means externally, you fulfill all your duties, responsibilities, obligations. Internally, you feel detached. Don't get entangled in the karmic bondage. Don't get involved in that. And that's true Vairagya. And that can be possible, again, I want to say, that can be only possible when we know about our true identity, who we are. And after knowing that, we know that what is our duty, what is our occupational duty according to our original identity. And if we are able to fulfill that, when we start fulfilling that, that will qualify us to reach the destination of liberation. Right?
Yeah. Is it too late, Shakuntala ji? In that case, I'll ask this question next session. Hello?
Shakuntala ji?
Or if you wish, you can ask now or otherwise later. That's okay.
I think I have a question, but I think, I don't know, the members are okay with that. If not, I will ask later with the consent of everybody.
I think it's better next time because
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
session that
It's
we
too
had
late.
for
Yeah.
Vinodji, he's in Hong Kong, so it's pretty
Yeah,
late
yeah.
for him.
Yeah. Sure.
So you hold the question, all right?
Sure.
So
Sure.
next time when we begin, you ask the question first.
Agree.
So
I will.
that's
Thank
the
you, ma'am.
tone of the session, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's end. the session.
Trupti ji, thank you for your consideration. But from my side, if you want to continue for whole night, also it's not a problem for me.
No. I know that. बहुत ज़्यादा cooperative.
Because these subjects are very close to my heart, so I
But-
can go on and on.
तो जैसे हमने आज कहा कि we don't need to take people for granted.
Yeah.
Let us stick by what we have learnt today. So
Putting into practice.
चलिए. So Hare
Yes.
Krishna, everybody.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you, everybody. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much.